Hi, my name is Alain and I am the author of the film textbook. And in this video I'm going to teach you one of the many lessons that you will find inside the book. The book is targeted at beginner filmmakers who wish to learn the craft in an entertaining and intuitive way. I recommend you use a camera with manual settings, or you may not be able to perform all the following actions. So, you're behind the camera, and it's very easy to forget a lot of the steps. I present to you 4 steps of camera operating, a simple guide that will help you avoid making critical mistakes. Follow these steps carefully and you'll guarantee yourself a high-quality image. All you have to do is remember the anagram LAWF, which spells laugh, which is exactly what your crew will do if you mess up. Let's begin with L. L stands for lens. Depending on the camera that you are using, you may want to refer to the lens as zoom. Let's take a look at these images. In the first picture, we are using a 50mm lens, which is a long lens. If you're using a zoom, this would be zooming in. Okay, let's take a look at the second image. This one uses an 18mm lens, which is a wide lens. Or, if you're using zoom, this would be zooming out. Take a hard look at both images and see if you can spot the differences between them. The first thing you might notice is that the face seems to be a little distorted, doesn't it? This is because the camera in the second picture is actually a lot closer to the actor. There's nothing wrong with using one lens or the other. It's just about what you mean to tell in your story. Wide lenses are usually used for horrors, for example. Makes the character feel trapped. You may want to use it in comedies where actors can have exaggerated features. Let's take a look at 2 other pictures. This time we're gonna go outside. In the first one, we're going to be using an even longer lens, 200mm. In the second one, however, we'll stick to the 18mm. What additional differences do you see now? One of the most apparent things is that you can see a lot more of the background in the 18mm lens. Again, this depends on what you're trying to tell in your story. Generally, wide lenses are used for establishing shots, where you want the audience to notice every single detail of the background. However, in portraits, you may prefer to not distract the audience with the background and focus on your actor instead. Alright, let's move on to the next one. A. A stands for aperture. Aperture is basically how much light is the camera letting in. The more open, the brighter your image will be. We'll take a look at 3 images. In this first one, the cup is obviously way too dark. In the second one, the image is way too bright. We can't even notice the details in the background. This last one is an example of exactly what you're trying to achieve. Let's move on to W. W stands for white balance. Now, it's hard to tell with our naked eye, but actually outside natural light is very different to interior light. They both have very different colors. Sunlight is usually bluer, colder, whereas artificial lights, such as lamps, usually have a tint of orange, which makes the image warmer. With white balance, we're telling the camera what light we are using. Here are some examples. This first cup is way too cold. This second cup is way too warm. This last one is just right. We can tell because the white wall is actually white and not blue or orange. And finally, F. F stands for focus. What you choose to focus on is completely up to how you want to tell the story. But it is very important that you're focusing on the right thing. A good reference to use to focus on an actor's face is to choose a detailed area, such as their eyes. Of course, you can use tricks to actually focus on both actors, but that is a subject for another lesson. For more details on this technique and much more, check out the film textbook. Thanks for watching, and for more insights on filmmaking, don't forget to subscribe.